Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. This is hashtag Crocktober 2024, hosted by Jenny's Scratch Made Kitchen and Kettle's Kitchen. There will be a live giveaway on November the 2nd at 4 p.m. Mountain Time and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on Jenny's Scratch Made Kitchen. There are 31 days of recipes. I believe she's got all days double recipes. So you're talking 62 wonderful recipes coming out by some fabulous channels. Be sure you comment below to be entered in their giveaway. All right, what are we making today, y'all? I'm going to take something out of my pantry, my home cooking pantry. Let me get over here. Y'all pardon this mess back here. We're fixing to be working on that. This is some homemade stewed tomatoes. Now you can buy canned stewed tomatoes if you don't can your own. And some homemade marinara sauce. And I'll link the recipe to this up here and maybe the other one as well. Very good. And if your sauce is too thin, you can always add some tomato powder to thicken it or some tomato paste. Either one. I have got out 2 rolls of bulk Italian sausage. And for the noodles, I'm going to be using zucchini to make my noodles because I'm on keto. But you don't have to do that. You can use regular noodles. You can buy everything at your store. You can even buy store-bought meatballs to make this. Or you can find a good Italian meatball recipe. Most meatball recipes calls for breadcrumbs, and it would be about a half a cup per pound of meat, approximately. And I'm not going to be doing that because I'm just going keto today and using just the sausage to make the meatballs. You can also brown these in a skillet or in your oven before you want to put them in your crock pot, but I'm not doing that either. I'm going to put them into the crock pot in the sauce and let them cook for about 4 hours on high, or you can cook this on low all day long and then come home and add your noodles, top your noodles off with this beautiful homemade spaghetti and meatballs. Doesn't that sound yummy? And it's in a crock pot. You can serve this with a crusty bread, garlic bread, salad, or coleslaw, and you'll have a wonderful meal. Let's get to the recipe. Now, a lot of y'all will use those plastic liners. I don't use plastic liners, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil to the bottom of my crock pot and get it all rubbed in on the sides. That just helps keep it from sticking to your crock pot and makes it easier to wash. It's overcast today. We've actually got Hurricane Helena in the area, and I'm just going to get all this meat out of this first roll. You can mix hamburger meat with Italian sausage and add some Italian seasonings that you would normally use in spaghetti to your mix, or you could do like I'm doing and just use Italian sausage. I will be adding some pepperoni to mine because I like pepperoni in my spaghetti. And I may add some mushrooms. I've got some dried mushrooms, so I may be adding that as well. So basically, I'm going to pinch off a good chunk, and I'm just going to roll them in my hands, and then I'm going to get them into the crock pot. So it's going to look about that size. That is about 1 inch to 2 inches in diameter. And so I'm going to go through and I'm just going to drop these in the bottom of my crock pot. And then I'm going to turn my crock pot on and let them start cooking a little bit before I apply the lid and get my other ingredients in there. So I turned on my crock pot and I'm going to just get this started on high and get these meatballs into my crock pot. Now I've got 2 packages, so they will be kind of crowded in here. That's okay. You can separate them as they cook. Once they start cooking down, you can actually go in there and separate your meatballs out. So that's the first package. And I also suggest you keep a clean washcloth handy because you're handling raw meat, or you have some soap and water handy so that you can wash your hands once you're done with this. Now, if you were doing this meatball and you're making it from scratch and you're mixing hamburger and your pork or your Italian sausage, you can add in about a cup per pound of meat that you're using of the breadcrumbs. And you can also add in some Parmesan cheese that will add flavor. I do have a really good recipe for meatballs as well. I will try to remember to link that in this video, as well as my two sauces. It doesn't take long to do this. And like I said, it's going to cook for about 4 hours. So about supper time, it will be done. And then I will have I'll zoodle up my zucchini. I've got a hand zoodler, and then I also have an electric one. The electric one goes faster, but you can also hand zoodle if you want the zucchini noodles. And then I will just cook them briefly for about 3 minutes in a skillet with a little bit of olive oil, and then remove them from the heat immediately and serve, because they go soft and then they won't be as good. So we're getting there. We're almost there. I may have to squeeze some more in here. And you can make these as big or as small as you want. If you're going to cook them first, you can cook them on top of a stove with a little bit of olive oil in a cast iron skillet, or you can put them on a cookie sheet that's lined and put them in an oven on 350 for about 30 minutes or more. It just depends on your oven as to how much time it will take. I think I got room for 2 more meatballs, and we have the bottom lined. So there we are, folks. Get rid of this. All right, my camera went down, wouldn't you know it. I have 1 jar of stewed tomatoes and 2 pints of my marinara sauce in here. I wanted to make sure I had enough to cover my noodles when all of this is done. I will probably be adding tomato powder to make a paste and adding it to this. After it's cooked for a while, I know more about how much I'll need. And you can use store brands for your sauce. You don't have to make your sauce at home. That's the good thing about this recipe. You don't have to use regular you don't have to use the zucchini noodles. You can use regular noodles, and you can use just about any kind of noodles that you want. The idea is you're having spaghetti and meatballs. And I did forget to add my pepperoni, so let me grab that real quick. I've got my cutting board out, and we'll get that sliced up. All right, we purchased this from our deli. It's $8.18 a pound. I bought a little over half a pound of it for sandwiches and stuff, and I love pepperoni. I don't have any of the regular pepperoni, so we're going to cut this up and we're going to put it in the sauce. Has just the same flavor as all the pepperonis you see in the store, and you can use chicken pepperonis or whatever you want to use. So I'm just going to cut this up into 4s because that's going to be close to the size of a regular pepperoni slice. And usually I put about 28 to 30 of these pieces in my spaghetti. So that's 28. I'm going to grab one more slice. We're going to get it cut up and put in there. And I think I'm going to go grab my dehydrated mushrooms and add that as well. So I'll be right back. These are shiitake mushrooms. I have about 1/4 of a cup left of my mushrooms. And I had stored these with some bay leaves. So I don't need the bay leaves, but I can put the bay leaves in here. It adds another layer of flavor. So I'm just going to sprinkle those over the top. Drop the 2 bay leaves in there. And now we're going to cover this. We're going to allow it to cook for about 4 hours, maybe a little longer on high, or you can cook it on low for up to 8 hours. So this is by Oyster. It's an appliance I picked up. I think I picked that up at Ollie's. I want to say it was Ollie's. So it cooks fettuccine and spaghetti, and I did the fettuccine setting. And this is what you get. So really long noodles. I'm just going to set these in the refrigerator until I'm ready to cook them. And they should be fine for a low-carb spaghetti with meatballs. This is tomato powder. This is made out of the skins of my tomatoes. And I always keep this product on hand because anytime I need a tomato paste, all I have to do is take some of this out of my jar. And I can mix it with a little bit of water. Let me get the lid back on that real quick. I can mix it with a little bit of water, or I can mix it with a little bit of my spaghetti sauce. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw some spaghetti sauce in here. And I may have to add some more liquids to this, but it will turn into a paste. You can make tomato sauce with this, tomato juice, tomato paste. It's a great thickener to add to soups and stews, among other things. So I've just about got it all incorporated. I need a little bit more liquid. And I have a nice tomato paste, a nice consistency tomato paste. So I'm bringing you back to the overhead view. This is the tomato paste. So you would add equal amounts of water to this, or a little bit more, to get a nice paste out of this. And you can add, at home, you can add a 6-ounce can of tomato paste if your sauce is too thin. And so I'm just going to mix this in, and it immediately thickens your sauce. It doesn't really change the flavor of your sauce, but it does thicken it, and it will give it a nice flavor. And I've got the lid off so I could get some of that excess moisture in my sauce evaporated. We're going to give it a little taste test. It's a very good sauce. At this point, after you taste it, if you decide you want to add a little bit of sugar or something like monk fruit sweetener to take that acid bite off, because I did add in the tomato paste, you can do that now. For the low carb, you would use something like monk fruit sweetener. And you can add any extra spices at this time if you think you need them. We are just about done with this, and as soon as my husband gets home, we'll get it served up. I have cooked him some noodles, and I'm going to do my zucchini noodles on camera. A little bit of parmesan on my noodles. Whoops, wrong side. Makes it taste better. A little bit of mozzarella. Freshly grated mozzarella. Ooh-wee, doesn't that look pretty? That's my supper tonight, y'all. Doesn't that look yummy? Yum, yum, eat 'em up. Homemade Italian meatballs with marinara sauce that I doctored up a little bit, cooked in the crock pot. Zoodles are easy to make. You just make your little noodles. And I've got a nice little fresh salad of cucumbers and tomatoes. Thank you so much for Jenny's Scratch Made Kitchen and Kettle Kitchen for hosting Crocktober 2024. Y'all stick around because there's a lot of great recipes coming your way. Thank you for watching, my friends. I will add the playlist in the description box. Be blessed, everybody.